Hello everybody, this is Gabriel Bolinta, I'm product manager for LIMSABC, and today I'm going to show you some of the new things that we did in our latest release 2.16 that was released this month, June of 2023. There are a lot of enhancements and a lot of bug fixes that we've done, close to 250 since our previous release, but today I'm just going to focus on some of the most important items that will affect everybody on their day-to-day work. The first thing that we've done is we've changed a little bit the UI. The very first thing you can see here on the top right corner, you can see now your current department and your current service group. Also, when you go into the icon for your user, we've removed, there was a previous icon over here that we've removed, and we've enhanced the drop down to have more information, and you can easily change your department, service group and role straight from here. Another major thing is we have redesigned the buttons that we had on the grid. If you go in any application, there will be different groupings and different sizes for the buttons. So if I go in accessioning, for example, the buttons will be grouped in different ways. For the creating requisition, some of the main buttons are here on the left, and then other are grouped in the badge, and then we have more actions that are less used. So these buttons are being redesigned throughout the application. Most of the applications will have the new buttons. The client portal, the accessioning, the results entry, requisition review, all of these things have changed. If I go back to the client portal, the other thing that we have changed is how our search works, and I want to take a little bit of time to discuss on the search itself. We've removed the column-based search, so there are no more searches on the column themselves, but we have some good features that can help with the search. First, I want to talk about the search tag. This is very powerful to search, and it allows you to kind of type certain information and it'll just filter the data. So for example, if I know the patient first name, I'm just gonna type it and search by the search tag. It's gonna bring me all of those with that first name. If I know, for example, I have here swab samples and I have blood samples, but I just want to look for, let's say, swab sample, I can just type swab, and now I get just the swab samples. If I don't know exactly the patient date of birth, but I know that the patient year of birth was 2008, I can just put 2008 there, and it narrows down the search. So it gives me the swab here, it gives me the first name here, and then it gives me the date of birth, the year of birth actually from there. So this is very powerful tool to use for your day-to-day searches. It's very fast, it's very convenient, and it's just easy to use. The other thing that we have, this refresh button is here. So if you want to refresh the data, you can just click on that refresh. If you want to do more powerful searches, we have the advanced search, which is a combination of those column-based searches, but there are a few nuances here. We've made so that, for example, you can copy and paste IDs or specimen numbers, sample numbers, requisition numbers. If you receive an Excel file, you want to check 50 of those, you just click on this plus button and you paste from the file. So whatever they come as different lines or as different comma separated, we can take those in and we can then use those to search for the data. The other thing is you can use multiple values, so I can do statuses of approved and active if I want, and I can use that as values in my search. All of the dates also have a from and a to, so you can use either or you can use both. If you use from, it will show all records after. If you use to, it will return all the records previous to that. We also allow you to choose the filter here, and you can choose how you want it to be sorted, ascending or descending based on that filter. The other very powerful option is to actually save the search, and this is something that you can reuse after. So if you have a set of criteria based on the status, based on client, or whichever criteria you have, you put those information in, and then you can save that search. And once you save that search, you can give a name to that search, and you can also see the previous searches. Once you've done that, you see the name, you see the actual filter that you've used. Once those searches are saved, you can go in and you can then apply those searches. So if I come back, if I refresh and I come back here, I will be able to reapply those searches that I have saved, just going with the mouse over those two arrows next to the advanced search and pick one of them. So I have here final reports, preliminary reports, but if I click on preliminary reports, it will show me the preliminary reports, right? If I go back and I change, I want to see the final reports, then it brings me the final reports. If I want to clear, I can clear. So this is a very useful and powerful tool to be able to save these searches. Now you can do it everywhere. So for example, in results view, I'm gonna go and show you the advanced search here, where you can search for a lot of the patient demographics, client dates, panels, order sample types, and so on. This is very useful. So you can narrow down all of the samples you want, including requisition bill. You can sort them, and it gives you option to search by different matters that are pending, or different matters that you can review, or you can see what was reviewed. And you have this anything type of filters that, hey, I want to see anything that I can review. If you're in toxicology, could be EIA, or if you confirmation, whatever the case would be. As long as there are results to be reviewed, you can just use the filter. You can save that filter, and then you can reapply the filter easily here. So I can see my pending, what I can see just the EIA. These are filters that I created for myself. So again, advanced search combined with the search by tag is really powerful way to search data in the application. Going back to the client portal, there are a few things here that I can show that we've added. So if I go to the pending lab work, for example, now when I go into the details for a requisition, you can actually see more information. You can see the insurance, the AOEs, the panels that were ordered, the medication, the attachments as well. And obviously, you can add more attachments. You can change the AOEs answers depending on the status of the requisition. But these tabs here are now available for your clients, for external users to see. The other thing that we've added is this pending calling queue. And this pending calling queue allows a couple of things here. We've added a new setting on clients that would allow us and would allow you to have a different patient report template. So your doctor, your clients can get a certain template, and then the patient can get a different template. The doctors, your external users, can actually preview this patient report, and they can release it. So in the pandemic, reports would go out straight to the patient from the lab. Now we've added intermediary step where doctors, external clients can preview and approve the report before it goes out to the patient. So this is really easy for them to just release. This can be used for molecular, can be used for PGX, for any type of testing, if you need the doctor to take a look at the report before it goes out. Then going to creating a requisition in the pending lab work, there are a few things here that we've changed. So going to create requisition, here you can see a few things. Let me just select the client. We've done some cosmetical stuff. You can the document change, the document upload change. You can see a little bit better the type of documents, and this is more iPad friendly. So if you use the portal on an iPad, this would work better for touch, and it would just scale better, and you see the information easier on an iPad, but on a computer as well. The other thing that we've changed, let me just select here for example, a gastro. If I put a collection date, it gives me the option now to specify that I've collected the specimen, so you don't have to type in the initials if you're the person that has collected the specimen. Also, an older functionality, but maybe not everybody knows about it, is this duplicate option that we have, and this is good for wound. For example, where you get two different samples, wound samples, and you do the same thing but different spots on the body, so you would need to have 2 or 3 wound samples that you test for, right? So very, very useful, the duplicate option on the specimen. The other thing that we've added, you can now schedule collection in advance. So we have this toggle right here that allows you to say that this is not an order that the samples have been collected for, but is scheduled for a future collection, and you can easily toggle this one, and this would allow you to actually specify multiple dates. So if I want, let's say, every week for the next 4 weeks, I can say 15, 22, 29 and 6th of July, and now the system shows me that I have 4. And what actually happens when you do this, it will create 4 requisitions, and they would be scheduled for these dates that have been selected here by the user. So very, very useful to schedule requisitions in advance. A couple of things that we've changed also on the results review. So I'm gonna go now to results review. Right here in results review, we have a new column here called reviewed, so you can see what was reviewed, and another column that it's the methods that are ready to be reviewed, right? So that means you have results for COBAS here, and this one was reviewed. There is nothing to be reviewed here, right? So this sample, everything, all of the results came in, everything was reviewed. There is nothing to be reviewed on this particular sample. This is very powerful because now you can use this, like I showed you in the advanced search, and you can choose, hey, I want to filter everything that I need to be able to review for, let's say, confirmation test. So you can create a filter that you can then reapply at any time to show you your confirmations ready to review. Or if you just want to do anything that is ready to be reviewed, you can use that, and once you do that, it will show you just those samples that have something to review, right? So you have here, these are all the samples that have results for certain methods, and you can easily clear that search from here. That's on the results review. The same thing, a lot of the results, a lot of the buttons have been redesigned and regrouped. We have a review section, a reporting section, an order management, and a lot of batch actions here. And then some of the most important buttons are here, such as the complete samples, because you do it for a group of selected samples. Upload results is now clearly here available. This is important to upload CSV results or any file-based results. And then the PCR batch review, this is an application specifically for molecular to review results. If I go to details for results for a sample, I see the same kind of layout for the buttons. We have the reviewed and unreviewed at the beginning, and then different sections to manage these results. Few things change in the accessioning as well, besides the general one that I mentioned, like the grouping of the buttons here and the more important ones. We've added a new tab called Aging. So the Aging tab here will show requisitions that have been ordered for a long period of time and they have not been received. So my pending lab is only 10, but my aging is 86. So in total, there are 96 requisitions that I have not received. And this aging tab gives the user options to do that you do not have in the pending. For example, you can archive these requisitions, or you can uh, even delete these requisitions if you think that hey, these are orders that we're never gonna receive samples. But the time that it takes for a requisition to be displayed in the aging and not in the pending, it is configurable. So I think the default is 30 days, but that can be changed to anything. Another option here is a good example. If you have accessioners that you have one accessioning area, but some people work with urine samples and some work with everything else, you can easily filter just based on that, create a filter, and now you have that option. And now I'm dealing only with urine samples. Everything else is not available to me. So that's another easy thing to do using the advanced search. One small change is when when you scan samples, so this, for example, sample 1039, we've added fields on the sample to track when the sample was scanned in the lab. So I have here, there is no flag on this one, and it doesn't show me that it was scanned. We have a field here that it was scanned in lab date, and this tells us when it was scanned. So if I go to receive samples here, and I go in and I scan my sample, at that moment I can search for that one, and now when I go to the sample details, I should be able to see that the sample was actually scanned. I see that it was scanned and I have an icon, and I would also have a scan date, so you know that the sample was scanned. This is useful when you have let's say more than one sample that you received and you start scanning. You need to make sure that if you have a requisition with 2 or more samples, you've actually received them all. So good practice would be to actually scan all of the samples in the bag, and then that's how you know that each sample was received, not just 1 out of 2 or 3 or how many you received. A few things we've also changed in the supply ordering. I'm not sure if everybody is familiar with the supply monitor, but if I go to the clients, here is where you can track in the supply monitor. Here you can track supply inventory at site, at client side. So if you add a transaction where you've sent different inventories, you can actually we have an undo button here that say, hey, I've actually didn't send it. It was a mistake. And what this will do, it will obviously change the number of keys that were sent, and it will change the in-stock quantity that it's available, because now this transaction is kind of removed and deleted. So this is a good thing for when these transactions are added by mistake. Few things in the patient manager. So if I go to patient manager here, and I go to any patient here, I can see a few things here. I can see the reports, and we have the same options here that in accessioning now. So you can actually create requisitions, you can do batch, you can order, you can download and zip these reports, similar to accessioning. So a lot of that functionality that is available in the client portal is now available here in Patient Manager. So you can actually choose, clients can choose to use just the Patient Manager without having to go to accessioning. The other thing on the download as PDF here. So if you need to download multiple reports for the same patient, you can easily use the download option here. Another thing that changed, that was added as a feature, if I go into requisition review, we have an option to resend reports. So if you need to go and resend certain reports that were approved, then you can easily do an ad hoc faxing or ad hoc emailing on the approved requisition. So there should be if I take an approved order, there should be an ad hoc report delivery, right? So this ad hoc report delivery allows you to fax or email a report to somebody. If a client calls and, hey, can I get the report for patient XYZ? Can you email it to me? Can you email it to this email address? You can do an ad hoc delivery. You don't have to add a count. You don't have to go to a lot of hoops to send that report on a one-off basis. I think that's it in terms of major features. Please do check all of the release notes for the additional features, smaller features that were added, and for all of the bugs and issues we have fixed. Thank you very much.